Happy Thursday, everyone. This is Miss JD once again for another episode of our daily stock market insights. And in this video, I'm going to prioritize the requests that some of you guys have shared in the comment section of my channel. So if this is the first time you're watching my video, I am Miss JD. I do review stocks in the Philippine market, US market, and sometimes cryptocurrencies. And so if this is the type of video you want to watch every single day, please feel free to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you're always updated. Okay, so I hope you guys had a profitable day yesterday. I've seen a lot of greens in the major stocks or in the stocks that we have in the Philippine market. So I hope one or some of these are in your portfolio. Okay, so let's start and first discuss the index. So on the screen right now, you'll see the Philippine Stock Exchange Index, and looks like, well, that was a nice modest bounce that we had yesterday, right? However, given that we do not have that volume, your foreign selling is still ongoing, I would have to say we are not out of the woods yet. Okay, so there is still a possibility that we could go sideways here before it recovers. Okay, but at least there's already some signs of recovery that's happening. So why am I saying that we could be creating a support at this level? Because if you look to the left, so you had this area over here, which acted as a support, and then eventually it bounced, right? Over here used to be a resistance and a wick in some of the days here. So notice each time those areas are hit, bounce is happening. Not totally all the way up, but at least it gets revisited and then it bounces again. So let us see if that will be respected once again in this case. But since we are still outside of the Bollinger Band, there could still be high volatility that could happen right there. And some of you can still take advantage of that. But then again, this is the index. This represents the major stocks in the Philippine market. So we still have to deep dive in each one to really understand the specific layout of the graphs, the chart for these stocks individually. Okay, so let's start with a request that's ALLHC. Okay, ALLHC, as you can see right here, we are creating a support in this area. You already have a double bottom right here, and if you're to look at it, our RSI is already giving us some signs of recovery right here. This is what you call a bullish divergence because you did a double bottom, and then your RSI this time around, after touching the same spot, our RSI is much higher than the previous bottom right there. So, but then again, ideally, what we want to see here is a green engulfing, but if it's up to you. If you are already okay with this level, you can do test buys. Right here is already a nice hint there. A good volume came out right over here last 8th of March, and then although we had a red, the red, that means the selling is much lower than the buying there. So if they must have entered right here, only a few people exited yesterday. Foreign buying was also present. So what I can see here right now is we could be establishing a support at this area. So it's up to you. You can consider doing test buys already. And where could be the next resistance? Right away, I can see it right at PMA 20 level, specifically in this area, because you see this used to be resistance that became a support, and then we have your MA 20 right over here. So if you are just going to, let us say, do range trading, probably enter right at the 452, exit at 490. That could give you an 8.26% gain. The question there is, how long will it take for that to be reached? We do not know, because sometimes in just the span of a day, you have long wicks that could happen right over here, for instance. So some may have entered right here and exited right here. That was an easy 8%. Okay, so it's up to you. I have just plotted support and resistance for a possible range trade, or you can stay there a little longer so that you can take advantage of a much better reward. But in terms of risk, if you're able to enter near a support, that's a much better position. Okay, at least you were able to haggle at a much lower level, and looks like selling pressure has started to die down. Okay, next stock is SM. SM still bearish, solid red with 161.7 on foreign selling. Okay, so we could still be experiencing another day or two of decline, and it could revisit this possible area. Let's see if that is indeed a support. Push a little higher, somewhere over here. Let's check that in a weekly chart. Just a minute. There you go. So you have a support right here. So that could be revisited, 847 level. At the same time, yeah, very near. Okay, next possible stop in case that gets broken would be right here. Reason for saying that is if you look at this area over here, you had some 3 to 4 days of consolidation. It challenged that level before a bounce happened. But overall, the trajectory that I can see at the moment is still on a decline. We have this as our trend line. See that? That is your resistance in a downward movement. So this is your downtrend channel. Each time we bounce, the highs are becoming lower and lower each time, and then when it declines, you create a lower low. So just imagine this is your first area of possible support. If that gets broken, it could go back here. So maybe if we go all the way down, it will touch this area before it goes up again. At least you have those key levels that you can monitor. So it's either you can enter right here if it touches right here, or probably in this area if that confirms as a support. So overall, this is still a decline. Now, if you want to get in at any time, let's say you feel that this is already very cheap in terms of price, just take note that most of the time investors here, or people who choose SM, would be long-term investors. So if this is still on a decline and you want to stay, if you want to enter, my take here is, since it might take some time before it recovers, so look at it in a long-term perspective, because definitely SM is a very stable company, and I'm sure you won't worry if it will take a few months or weeks, months, or even years for it to recover. At least you're able to haggle at a much cheaper level. But just take note of those key areas so that you could take advantage of profitable positions. Okay, JFC. JFC, we are currently on a weekly chart sitting at a MA20, but let's see the daily chart. Okay, nice that we have 8.08 million on foreign buying, 3.68% gain from the previous day. So let's see here. this could be, okay, one, this could be a support, another one right here, which is very near the area where it bounced. So that is the area. Okay, although normally before I confirm that this is already a reversal, normally I want to see in, let's say we ended right here at the red, right? We ended outside of the Bollinger Band. The idea is in the next 3 days, okay, so this is day one, we ended with a green. However, we're much lower than this red candlestick. So in the next 3 days, so this is day one, day two, day three, ideally on the third day, we could be ending higher than the 237 area. So let's say it ends right here today, and then third day probably over here. So that way we can confirm that we are already out of the downtrend. Okay, but if I'm to draw the trend line once again, we are still overall, the trajectory right here is still on a decline. See that? This is the trend line in a downward movement. So even if it shows green today, you have some resistance areas right over here, possible area respecting this channel. Okay, so in case you find this area as a cheap level already, then 221 or 214 would be the best or an ideal entry for position trading. Okay, all right, so that's for JFC. TEL, I'd say looks like we are experiencing some difficulties breaking this, although we are already above the MA20 line. However, sometimes you could overshoot. Okay, so that means even though we are above it, there's a resistance going on right here. The stock is struggling to break that. So let me just, there. That is, yeah. So we could be at the moment respecting this channel. So you had your bounce right here, ended in this area, but when it bounced again, it's much lower than that level. So just be extra careful. What we wanted to see happening right now is for it to break out of that channel, for us to say, okay, there's a continuation or there's a breakout of that trend, because currently this is acting as your resistance. Each time it creates lower highs, there's a rejection that's happening. So let's say it goes back, right? It goes back using the horizontal line. We could be establishing a support right here. But if that's broken again, then watch out for it. We could be creating another lower low. So that simply means downtrend is not yet over. But in the event, okay, it bounces using this horizontal line, then that's a different story, because you had here a bottom, then you created a double bottom right here, and look what happened. Okay, see this area created a bullish divergence, 0.1, 0.2, and this is your 0.1, and this is for your 0.2 there. So two concepts: when a price is going down and your RSI is going up, that's a bullish divergence. At the same time, when it does a double bottom, which means price ended right here and it ended at that area once again, you check your RSI. If it is much higher this time on the second point, then that's also a bullish divergence. Okay, but overall, allow this stock to just go with the flow, and these are your key levels: support being here, resistance being here, and if it breaks that channel, then that's a possible breakout play, okay, or reversal. All right, so those are the requests that you guys shared in the comment section. let me go to Dito. Okay, Dito is, I'd say, this is giving us some signs as well. Possible bounce at this level, although no volume no volume just yet. At the same time, this could take a little while, probably 2-3 days. I don't know exactly how many days, but we are now sitting at a possible support. So let's see. But that was a very good haggle there, because at one point it already reached 6.8 and went back to the 5 peso level. So for those people who may have not catched this could be your chance, right? So over here, 1, 2, 3. So each time we are already moving higher and higher in our RSI. So let us see. This could mean that we are already going to reverse anytime soon. We just want this volume to pick up, because right now there isn't much volume. Okay, so that's what we are waiting for. This is what I want to see. See this? No volume right here, and then all of a sudden there is a spike. And see what happens next. There's a movement going up. So here we're still flat in our volume, but the moment we see that volume pick up once again, and let's say the candlestick looks good, then that's our cue. We could start buying. But now my take here is, if you have the opportunity to get it very near the 5 peso level, even better. Okay, so that is it for our review today. Let me know if you have additional requests so I can prioritize that in my next video. Okay, in the meantime, thank you guys for watching, and I hope you have a profitable day today. Bye-bye.